Professor Kim Nelson with the Jewelry Design Department at the Fashion Institute of Technology. Another video, series of videos for modeling jewelry in 3D using Rhino. This is the last video in the ring review project for JD237 from fall 2017. Gonna hollow the ring, and this is an exercise that will work with any ring, or at least can be applied as far as it can be applied to any ring. There are some rings that, due to their basic design, won't allow this procedure, but most will, or at least can make use of it to some degree. To hollow a ring, it's really important that you have the finished ring, but that you also have a basic model. In this case, it's easy. This ring is very simple. It's that basic body of the ring we modeled. In other rings, you may have to reconstitute this. You need something that doesn't have too much detail. Okay? That basically has the form and the mass of the piece without too much detail. I'm going to make a copy and paste like we were doing before with this, so that we have a safe copy. I'm going to extract surfaces copy equals no. And what I want is I only want to have enough of a structure, enough of the shell of the ring, to use as an indicator for hollowing. Those surfaces will do. That's plenty. I'm going to offset each one of these surfaces the thickness I would like the ring to be, the wall thickness I'm looking for the casting. Standard is a millimeter, millimeter 2 if it's silver, maybe 8.5, 9/10 if it's gold, depending on the nature of the ring. I'm going to make it a millimeter here. Nice basic standard thickness. I'm going to set it to -1. Dimensions going the direction of the arrows. In a positive direction, we'll be offsetting that way. I want to go the opposite direction of the arrows, so -1. You hit enter. I don't know why Rhino's hanging on this command. This is not hard to do. Of course, I have a technical difficulty to start the video. There is the offset surface. So throw away the original. Just having a hard time with that for some reason. And going to offset this same distance, -1. And delete the external surface. And the shank, -1. Delete the external surface. And that's all I need. I am, just to make it simple, I don't have to do this, but to make it look a little cleaner, I will trim off the top here and the edge there. And then I'll group these together for the purposes of selection. This sleeve, as it were, partially complete sleeve, is what we're going to use to hollow the ring. Use as a reference in hollowing the ring. Copy paste so that I keep my safety. I'm gonna lock that sleeve, and I'm going to activate a cage editing box. Transform, cage editing, cage edit, bounding box, world is fine, enter. I'm going to make this 7 in each direction. Gives me plenty of points to play with, and a center line. And the third degree mathematical curvature is fine. Enter, and then enter one more time. Now, I don't normally like having this the same layer as my object, so turn off the points and change the layer. Having done that, reference object is on. Turn on my control points. Okay. And in this case, for now, I'm just going to select the whole box. In effect, this makes it into a non-uniform scale. But I'll be able to use the gumball. And by grabbing onto each one of these, I have grid snap on. Make sure that's turned off. I'm going to pull inward until I see my surface here, my green surface, as it were, just barely interacting with that sleeve. I'm going to do the same thing in this direction. And I'm going to do the same thing in this direction. Now, think about what's going on here. If the purple is extending way out beyond my green control here, my cutter, this is basically the cutter for hollowing I'm making. If the purple's well beyond the cutter, then I'm hollowing it out less than 1 millimeter. If my green cutter really bites well past the purple sleeve, then I am cutting less than a millimeter. So you want to be as close as you reasonably can. And I find that to be acceptable. Now, the next problem is you only want to hollow the ring out. You only want to hollow the ring out from about 3/4 of the way around. From basically like 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock in this area, or even 5 o'clock and 7. But somewhere in here, the bottom of the shank you leave solid for sizing. So, turn off the sleeve now. Bring back my finished ring model. What I want to do with this now is I want to scale these up. So I'm going to have to, with precision. So I'm going to get rid of gumball. And I'm going to go to non-uniform scale. I'm going to activate a point snap so I can actually grab one of these points here. I don't want to change anything in this direction, so I'll just hit enter to accept one. I don't want to change anything in the Y direction, so I'll just hit enter to accept that one in brackets there. And in the Z direction, I will pull up. And what I want to do is I want to get this cutter to come clean of the bottom of the ring. And do it again. A little bit more. That looks pretty good. See if that changed dramatically from the sleeve. No. So, there's my cutter. Select my shell. Now before I Boolean difference, copy, paste, group, Control D, using R shortcuts to change layer to storage objects. And then take these and solid difference, and that's it. And that'll give you a nice uniform, fairly accurate 1 millimeter hollow. Okay. The only other thing I would do with this ring, if I really wanted to, is I would clean up the ring sleeve into a single surface. And I actually would have likely done that before I hollowed it. But it's not a big deal either way. Select out these surfaces. Like so. Only going to keep the one center one here, delete the rest. Take this and surface, edit tools, untrim all. And then use this to trim it back away. It gives me one clean surface for the inside of the ring. Grab the hollow portion. And trim. Nope, piece did not trim. Make sure you get it all. And then join it back together. You wouldn't have to do that. It makes no difference to the 3D print. But I do like to have my surfacing very clean in the end, if it doesn't take a lot of extra effort. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching.